Ready now. You know the rules. Around here, the robots do the painting, and you do the guessing. And I will give you some clues that I wouldn't doubt might be a little helpful. Now, again, we're going to do the top 20 Elizabeth Taylor movies. So, when we do a countdown, 2019, they're a little tough. Here we go, number 20. Before she ruled Hollywood, Taylor was caught in a web of Cold War deceit. Her co-star, another Taylor, Robert Taylor, though they shared no family ties, just a knack for tense eye contact. The film features a young English bride who slowly realizes her dashing husband is hiding a red secret. Think more espionage than evening gowns, more paranoia than pearls. All right, in this thriller, Elizabeth's innocence meets international intrigue, proving she was more than just a child star. So this isn't her very first movie, but this is 1949. She's still a very young lady in this movie. Any guesses? It's going back a bit in time, and to be honest, until I put this list together, I hadn't heard of this one. So there you go. All right, going once, going twice. This one was called Conspirator. Red Scare, intrigue, Cold War intrigue. 1949, soon after World War II, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move up to 1963. Number 19, I bet you get this one. The entire drama takes place inside an airport, long before flight delays were everyone's favorite horror story. Taylor and Burton bring turbulence to terminal love while other passengers wrestle with money, fame, and heartbreak. The ensemble cast includes a who's who of 1960 cinema, including Maggie Smith in an early role. Expect champagne, mink coats, and existential dread between boarding calls. Taylor's glamorous character almost misses her flight and her marriage. All right. I'm stumping you with these first couple, aren't I? I like it. All right, 1963, Richard Burton, airport, terminal. No, this is called The VIPs. The VIPs, 1963. The robots liked it. Real-life headlines inspired the story after Taylor and Burton's jet-setting romance caused an international paparazzi frenzy. There you go. Land the winner. Good guess. Incorrect. I don't know, was Liz Taylor in that one? Not sure. All right, number 18. All right. 1967, directed by John Huston and starring Taylor opposite Marlon Brando. Enough said, right? The film features repressed desire, a horse obsession, and military. A trifecta of psychological discomfort. Now, Brando plays a closeted officer. I can see that. Taylor, his frustrated wife. Oh, this sounds interesting. And everything happens under the oppressive Georgia sun. Oh, this one's not Streetcar. This one's not Streetcar. Brando, though. Brando playing a closeted officer. Taylor's performance walks the fine line between sympathy and savagery. I like it. Truman Capote's original adapted script, but left after the production became, in his words, Too weird even for me. It's 1960s, you know. Reflections in a Golden Eye. Reflections in a Golden Eye, 1967. I should have warned you, these first few are difficult. We're going to get into the Elizabeth Taylor gravy train here in a minute. Okay, this is going back a bit. 1957 now with this one. Think Gone with the Wind, which we'll look at later. But longer, moodier, and with even more corsets. More corsets. Taylor plays Susanna Drake, a Southern belle haunted by secrets and shadows of war. Her performance earned her first Oscar nomination. Proof she was now playing in the big leagues, 1957. The film mixes Civil War melodrama with psychological unraveling and a dash of Gothic romance. Dash of Gothic romance. Taylor's character, tragic descent, mirrors a nation coming apart at the seams. There you go. Now, I wasn't real familiar with this one either, I gotta be honest. Think Gone with the Wind, but longer, moodier, and with more corsets. I love that. During filming, Taylor survived a near-fatal illness. Her dramatic recovery mirrored her character's resilience, boosting the movie's mystique. Okay, Raintree County. Raintree County. We need King in the house, don't we? Although, I'm not sure you know these either. 1957. Raintree County. All right, number 16. Now we're starting to get into the ones I've heard of. 1973. Midlife crisis meets plastic surgery in the snowy Italian Alps. Taylor portrays a woman literally remaking her face to win back her husband. Critics expected melodrama, but got quiet introspection instead. A rare late career mood piece. Think mirrors, martinis, and melancholy. Sounds like a good combination. Mirrors, martinis, and melancholy. It's the kind of film where the real special effects is Elizabeth Taylor's emotional precision. Yeah. I think the robots are yanking our leg. These are hard. Taylor wore minimal makeup for much of the movie, letting her natural aging, something she rarely allowed on screen, become a part of the story. Now, this is 1973, so this is late in her career. Late in her career. The movie was called Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday, 1973. All right. All right. Most of the rest are pretty familiar. Number 15. Number 15. Weddings are beautiful unless you're the father paying for one. Now, this is the original version of this movie. It has been remade. Taylor plays the glowing bride who sets off Spencer Tracy's epic pace of wallet-induced panic. It's a domestic comedy drenched in post-war charm and satin. The film nails that universal parental horror, losing your little girl to a tuxedoed stranger. All right, so this has been remade fairly recently. Steve Martin played the father in the recent remake. Taylor's radiance gives the chaos heart and not just headaches. MGM timed the film's release just before Taylor's own first marriage, doubling the box office and tabloid buzz. There you go. You are correct. Steve Martin played the remake, right? I think so. I forget who played the bride. Who played the bride in the remake? Father of the bride is correct. Very good. 1950. So it is going back a bit. 1950. There it is. All right. All right, we're getting down into rich territory here. Oh, Oscar winners and all that kind of stuff. Number 14, 1954. Powdered wigs, military uniforms, and scandalous side-eyes. She is good at the side-eye. Welcome to Georgian England. Where's our Brits? Stuart Granger struts as the world's first fashion influencer, while Taylor brings the silk and sincerity. This one's for anyone who likes the romance with a historical flourish and too much lace. She doesn't need to shout. Her calm grace steals the film from its dandy hero. It has a dandy hero in it. You can practically smell the cologne through the Technicolor. Taylor's costumes were so extravagant that MGM reused several for later period dramas. Because waste not, wear not. Sense and Sensibility, good guess. Incorrect. No, I'm thinking this movie won some awards. I'm not sure. It's called Beau Brummel. Beau Brummel. No? Beau Brummel, 1954. All right. I promise they're going to start getting easier pretty soon. Okay, Elizabeth Taylor, 1954. How soon we all forget. Of course, we weren't born yet. Post-war Paris, wine, regret, and a lot of complicated love stories. Taylor plays a free-spirited spirit who loves deeply and disastrously. Van Johnson co-stars, bringing melancholy charm to a city still healing from war. The film's bittersweet tone hints at Taylor's growing sophistication as an actress. 1954. Taylor's growing sophistication. You'll laugh, sigh, and possibly want to move to Paris and ruin your own life beautifully. Sense and Sensibility is a good guess. Loosely incorrect. This is loosely inspired by F. Scott Fitzgerald's story, which I love the Hemingway stuff about the gang in Paris, right? All that stuff's good. Snakes on a Plane. Yeah, I think that's an excellent guess. Excellent guess. For some other movie. That's like a Christina Ricci. No, that was right. That was Black Snake Moan. The Last Time I Saw Paris. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is one of her Oscar winnings. A scandalous title for a scandalous role. Taylor plays Gloria Wondrous, socialite by day, sinner by night. The movie opens with her walking away from a stranger's apartment, wearing only a mink coat. I think I remember this. Instant legend, only wearing a mink coat. Critics were shocked. Audiences couldn't look away. It's a melodrama dripping with mid-century moral panic. Perfume. The role earned her first Oscar. Though she once joked, she won for not dying that year. I don't know what that is. All right. Can you remember the different movies that she won Academy Awards for? Taylor didn't like the movie at all, but her fierce honesty made it unforgettable, and it turned scandal into stardom. All right. Butterfield 8. 1960. Cool picture, huh? And she walked out of that apartment wearing only a mink coat. So there you go. All right, I think you might have heard this one. Number 11. This is actually her first movie, I believe. 1944. A 12-year-old with a horse and a dream. There were no explosions, just a lot of hearts. Taylor's breakout role made her, I guess she had been in other things before, made her a household name and permanently linked her to the color purple. Well, the metaphorical kind. Close, Doctor. You're in the ballpark there. You're in the ballpark. She trained rigorously for the writing scenes, doing many stunts herself. The stories about courage, childhood, and chasing impossible victories. Now, it wasn't called Black Beauty. It was called something else. And this has been remade as well. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got it. That horse, the pie, was her co-star and lifelong friend. Taylor kept the horse, the pie, after filming and rode him for years. She said he was her first leading man. How sweet. National Velvet is correct. Very good. National Velvet, 1944. 12 years old. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney. There you go. All right. Number 10. I think you might know this one. Tennessee Williams' sultry southern heat and more marital tension than a reality show reunion. Taylor plays Maggie the cat. Ferocious, frustrated, and fabulous. She's opposite Paul Newman, and she turns every line into a duel. Yeah. Which one is this? Tennessee Williams, sultry southern heat. If Southern Gothic had a face, it would be hers in that white slip. Yes. Elizabeth in the white slip. Because of censorship rules, much of Williams' subtext had to be hidden, making Taylor's performance all the more electric for what it couldn't say aloud. Well, so it's very similar to Streetcar Named Desire. It's the other one. It's the other one. It's not Streetcar. Stella! No, this one's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, 1958. She's the cat on the hot tin roof. There you go. I guess she screams. I don't know. Number 9. Whew, I better be careful. Number 9. Ambition meets tragedy in a love triangle for the ages. Taylor's Angela Vickers is beauty, wealth, and danger all wrapped into white chiffon. Montgomery Clift's tortured performance and their chemistry nearly melted the film stock. Now, remember, Montgomery Clift's the guy who got in the bad car accident and ruined his face. So I don't know if this movie was before that. I'm thinking it was. Or after that. Every close-up looks like a prayer and a warning. This is the movie that made her a true star. Clift and Taylor became lifelong friends, and their emotional bond off-screen gave the film its haunting intensity. You know, these are harder than you would have thought, right? Elizabeth Taylor, you would have thought. I mean, the last few, I mean, the top 5, you're going to know all those. But these are a little tougher than we thought. They're all a little older. 1951, A Place in the Sun. A Place in the Sun. Montgomery Clift and Elizabeth Taylor. Cool. Now, this was a big, big movie. This next one. That's a clue, incidentally. 1956, Texas Oil Ego, Elizabeth Taylor. That's the whole lineup. That's actually not the whole lineup. She plays Leslie Benedict, a woman who marries into cattlemen and challenges the patriarchy while wearing pearls. Only Elizabeth Taylor. Opposite Rock Hudson and James Dean, she holds her own like a cinematic force of nature. The movie spans decades, tackling racism, greed, and the rise of modern America. Yeah, very good, Doctor. Very good. James Dean. Taylor brings moral depth to a story drenched in testosterone. James Dean died before the film's release, giving it a mythic quality and making Taylor its living link to Hollywood's last rebel. There you go. Giant is correct. Giant, 1956. Yeah. There she is. Looking good. Gotta hand it to Grok on these videos, too. All right, number 7. Number 7. A Southern institution, a missing cousin, and one very suspicious salad. Ooh. Welcome to the world of Tennessee Williams again. Taylor's Catherine is trapped between madness and truth. And Katharine Hepburn plays her manipulative aunt, serving menace with a side of decorum. This is quite the picture too, actually. Quite the picture. The story is gothic, grotesque, and unforgettable. And remember, all these pictures are actually from movies and things. They're real pictures, but then at the end we kind of spin it with the AI video. Taylor's climatic monologue is pure cinematic hypnosis. Whatever happened to Mary Jane or Baby Jane? But that's a Betty Davis. That's a Betty Davis. I don't know, maybe Elizabeth Taylor was in that too. I'm not sure. Not this one. The film's unspoken horrors were so shocking that the Catholic Legion of Decency nearly banned it, boosting ticket sales, naturally. This was called Suddenly Last Summer. There she is, Suddenly Last Summer. Yeah, 1959. There you go. All right, down to number 6. And I know you know this one. I know you know it. This is the most expensive film ever made up until that time. And every cent shows. Taylor became an international sensation as the Queen of the Nile. The costumes alone weighed more than some of her co-stars. Her romance with Richard Burton turned the production into Hollywood's hottest scandal. Yes, of course. It's part movie, part myth, and entirely Elizabeth Taylor. The film nearly bankrupted 20th Century Fox, but also redefined what a blockbuster really could be. And yes, you are correct. This one is Cleopatra, 1963. The romance with Richard Burton turned the production into Hollywood's hottest scandal. Oh, yeah. Even back then, a lot of that stuff was done, right, to help ticket sales. Yes. There she is, Miss Cleopatra. Cleopatra the Seventh of the Ptolemy dynasty. Since we do a little history around here too. There she is. Side-eye. Kind of some side-eye. Number 5. Number 5. Shakespeare with a shot of whiskey and a lot of marital warfare. Taylor and Burton transformed Katharina and Petruchio into verbal prize fighters. Every insult lands like a love letter wrapped in dynamite. Their real-life chemistry blurs the line between art and argument. Taylor's fiery wit gives the play new bite. So this was a big play. There you go. There you go. You are correct again. You're on a streak. Doctor's got a streak going. Burton quipped that working with Taylor was like acting opposite Mount Vesuvius. She reportedly loved that description. Working with Mount Vesuvius. Taming of the... I bet they had a little bit of a fiery relationship. Were they married 3 times? Or just twice? I can't remember. Married twice, got back together the 3rd time. I don't know which. You're correct. Taming of the Shrew, 1967. Won some awards, I think. I could be mistaken, but should have won awards. All right. Another Tennessee Williams, 1968. This is a cool picture. Avant-garde absurdism by Tennessee Williams again. Clearly, he could not quit Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor plays a dying poetess visited by a mysterious young man, who is also played by Richard Burton. It's equal parts bizarre and mesmerizing, like a dream that forgets its own plot. The critics hated this movie, but cult audiences worship it. Taylor swans around in caftans so magnificent they deserve their own credit. The film later inspired fashion designers and drag performers alike. Proof that even a flop can be fabulous. So this movie was a flop, not a fashion flop, but it became a cult favorite. And, you know, the robots love the cult favorites. Boom is the name of this movie. Boom. That sound familiar to anybody? 1968. Boom. Ba-boom. Okay, top 3 Elizabeth Taylor movies. Here we go. Here we go. They don't get easier. I lied to you about that. Knights, Castles, and Chivalry. Taylor's beauty was practically made for Technicolor. Now, this is 1952. So, let's see. If she was 12 in 1944, she'd be 8 years older. So she'd be 20 years old. She plays Rebecca, a Jewish heroine who outshines every sword in the room. Her quiet dignity grounds the adventure in humanity. Even among the chainmail and catapults, she steals the moral spotlight. All right, 1952. This is a film about valor made radiant by empathy. Yeah, there you go, Doctor. Taylor insisted on portraying Rebecca's courage, not just her beauty. A choice that modern critics now celebrate as quietly revolutionary. Ivanhoe is correct. Ivanhoe, 1952. Knights, Castles, and Chivalry. And she does look cute there. I must say. All right. Number 2. Now, this is a moody romance set on the fog-kissed coast of Big Sur. This is the Big Sur movie. If anybody remembers that. She plays a free-spirited single mother who schools authority as often as she paints. Richard Burton is the conflicted minister who gets swept into the tide. Their on-screen affair mirrors a very headline-friendly off-screen saga. This is 1965, mid-saga. The love theme became an instant standard you've definitely heard before. The film introduced The Shadow of Your Smile, is the name of the song, which went on to win the Academy Award for Best Original Song. You have to hum a few bars for me. The Shadow of Your Smile. Anyway, classic Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, romance, a moody romance set in the fog-kissed coast of Big Sur called The Sandpiper. The Sandpiper, there they are. There they are. Back together again, obviously. All right, so what's the number one Elizabeth Taylor movie? Anybody know already? She won an award for it, I think. Forget Cleopatra. This is Taylor at her rawest. She transforms into Martha, a bitter academic wife in emotional freefall. The film's black and white cinematography amplifies every tremor of her face. Her verbal duels with Richard Burton are volcanic again. The performance won her a second Oscar and the respect of even her fiercest critics. My image is in an unfortunate location there. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to do like a clear my image off. But Taylor gained weight, aged herself, and ditched glamour entirely for the role, proving that true power in acting comes from fearless vulnerability. A method actress. That's Menagerie. I like that guess. Not correct. It's called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 1966, won her second Academy Award win. Second Academy Award win. All right, well, those were a little harder than we might have anticipated.